Alright, g'day, hi and welcome. See if this is going to do it. It's going to do it. Is it going to do it? Oh, it did it! Oh, shutter's locked up though. Oh, jammed again. Alright, I will get this thing fixed. Yes, this is the Pentax ME Super. Eventually going to get that fixed. Okay, let's try this again and make it a little bit more impressive. Get the beast out here. Got my Canon Nikon D100, a little older technology. Put you in half mode and all right. So is shooting in auto the best, or is it the worst, or should no dignified photographer whatsoever ever shoot in auto? Here's my take on it. Now, obviously, those shots were just, you know, to show you something a little bit. Whew, hang on. I gotta get out of the sun. My God, I can't believe it. This is the warmest day of the year so far. It's about 25 degrees out here, and it's mid-May, and it's really, really freaking warm for me. It's shorts weathered. I got pants on. I mean, I've even took off my long john, so that tells you a lot. So anyway, getting back into the topic here. Is auto the best, or should you never, ever, ever touch auto ever, 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 ever? Okay, here's my take on it, and it's a fairly simple take, really. First off, there are situations where auto makes a lot of sense. Although in that macro feature, that camera wasn't functioning at its full speed because the D100 wasn't functioning at its full speed. Something to do with the fact that it was just too, you know, these big telephoto lenses, they shoot really dark, and they need a lot of light. Even in the bright midday sun like that, it could still be hard to get a shot at high speed. If you're into sports photography and all that stuff, one of the things you might run into, which is kind of cool, is that you can get fixed focal length lenses that let in a lot of light at you know, tremendous focal length, like 400 or whatever, but they're at an extremely expensive whatever price. But where you run into the big problems is not so much even the focal lengths, it's the problem of basically focus, aperture setting, shutter speed, ISO, all that stuff. So when your camera's jammed up, but when you're taking your picture, click, I'll make the sound, click, okay, you've got in auto, you've got a moving target that's going around, and okay, I gotta zoom in on them, I gotta do this, I can do that, whatever, I can't see nothing through my shutter's locked up again. It does that. I will fix this thing. So anyway, as you're focusing, okay, you focus, click, you got your shot, click, you got your shot. Now, on the D100, I've got a bunch of other things. So, if I've got that same shot coming up and, okay, hang on, I got it. Oh, well, the shot's gone. Like, literally that fast. Like, you don't have time to adjust things on the move. So, auto is your friend at that point. At that point, what you got going on is, okay, the guy's going to throw the football. He's going to go down to the other end. Okay, I'll get ready for him for the throw. Okay, so this is a 75 to 150 lens. We'll just, doesn't really matter, but we'll just say he's in range. Okay, so, okay, oh, he's going down. Okay, he's halfway. I'll put it at 85. Okay, he's at the other end. Okay, and focus and click. Click, 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 whatever. He throws the ball. Click, 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 click. Zoom in, zoom out as I'm going. And you're just focused in on the lens. Lens and auto, depending on the camera, like for example, some lenses will go hunting for to get focus because they don't know what that, you're moving too much and the camera doesn't, the meter has no idea what you're trying to focus on. So manual mode on the lens, that's what I would practice more. You got, oh, there's a bird. Click, got him. You know, you're not going to have time to aperture 8. You know, even if you can see it through the you know, on the digitals, even if you can see it, you're just not going to have time to adjust anything that's moving. So auto is your friend. This really, especially old cameras like this. Let's say you're a bird watcher, okay, and you had an old camera like this back in the day. And it's like, okay, well, right now we're in the midday sun, so I'm going to maybe put this at aperture 8. I'll just leave it at aperture 8. That'll give me the best of both worlds. My birds are probably going to be further from me, so I'm going to go somewhere in the middle at 100, and I'll wait for them, and if I could zoom in, I'll zoom in. Okay, zoom in, okay, focus, click. You know, just as he's taking off, and you got the spectacular bird shot, right? But you're probably even going to have this thing on auto. You know what I mean? You're probably going to be working in auto most of the time. Oh, it's a beautiful evening. There's a waterfall. It's low light. I got all the time in the world to take this photo. I'll put it in 75. Okay, infinity. I wanted a really sharp picture. I'll put it on 22. I'm going to slow down the shutter to, I don't know, 10 seconds or 5 seconds. Click. And it goes again. And then you've got this spectacular scenic shot. But it's like, if you did it in auto, it would be click. Okay, the shot's a little too dark. Okay, everything's in focus. But the water, you know, doesn't have that nice cascading look on it and all that. Because the point of manual, in my opinion, and I'm sure everybody will have a different opinion on this. And again, I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy who likes photography. But the point of manual is to get a desired effect that you really want to get. That is something that when you're looking at it, it's like, okay, well, I'll take this shot in manual because I know I can get away with it. I know that I have all the time in the world to take that shot. I can adjust my aperture. I could, you know, for my depth of field, I pick my, you know, let's say it's a portrait, I'm going to go in 85. I'm at 50, we'll say 8 feet. So I'll put it there. So I'll focus in on the 8. Okay, so 8 feet, focus in. Okay, maybe I got to go a little bit this way, a little bit, just sharpen it up. Okay, I want a dreamy look. I might do something a little bit more overexposed, underexposed. I want more shadows. I want less shadows. Whatever I want to do, I can play around and get an exact shot that I want. But that's when you have all the time in the world to do that. So most of the time, you won't have all the time in the world to do that. And because of that, you will probably be best off to be in auto. Now, I'll give you some shots, because I haven't done a lot in manual. I just got this. I love this little camera. I can't wait to use it. It was working, and then it broke, and then it worked again, and then it's kind of broken. I fixed it with a hammer, and then it broke again, and then I fixed it again with a hammer and a chisel, and then it worked for a bit, and then it broke again. And there's something... Oops, door just slammed on the other side. Something broke inside, so I'm going to have to get this fixed eventually. I don't have the funds to do it now, but this was my aunt's old camera, and I'm sure she probably enjoyed it a lot. And then when she passed away, my grandmother got it, and after my grandmother got it, when she passed away, nobody wanted it, and when they were letting the nephews and nieces and grandchildren go through the rubble, so to speak, of my grandmother's belongings, I saw this camera there, and I knew who it was right away, and I asked anybody if anybody else wanted it, and everybody was like, no, go ahead and take it. And I'm like, mine, you know. But it doesn't work properly right now, and I got to get it working, because I can't wait to take pictures with this. It's the lens on this, for example, is a de jour 75 to 150 3.8 lens. So it's not probably the sharpest lens in the world. But I've played around and did some lens whacking on the D100. And what I found with this lens is that it actually is pretty sharp. How am I doing for time here? Okay, so I'm going to have to wrap this up. But anyway, yes, don't feel bad about using auto. But you should try to do as much manual as possible. But understand the limitations of manual is how fast does it take you to adjust everything, right? So if you can't adjust things fast enough, you're going to go in auto. So sports photography, you're probably going to go in auto. If, you know, it's only when you want to get really creative, that's where the manual really helps you. Some people, you never work in manual ever, or in auto ever. That I think that's absolutist and kind of a little bit ridiculous. But anyway, I'll leave it at that. So if you like this kind of content, please consider making a donation to the channel. Links down below. Thank you so much to everybody who has. Plus, I'll see if I can, I don't know if I'll be able to squeeze in a few shots, but I'll see if I can squeeze in an auto shot and a manual shot. All right, there we go.
Okay, this shot, the lens was in manual, but the camera was in auto, so I could catch the depth of field. This was all manual, so I could get a desired effect, a slow shutter speed, doing light painting. And then, of course, this was all auto because the dog just didn't stay still. Anyway, there we go. Enjoy.